Day 26. So wanted to come on here. How are you all doing? How's everybody feeling? I know there's just been like a lot going on for sure in the world and in each one of us. So I wanted to say hi, sending you lots of love and kindness and compassion. And I've had like some interesting thoughts today. A lot of things coming up this morning, and I think it's like from the fact that I'm finally like my body is able to come down from this fight or flight mode that I've had for like, especially like since I got sick. Like basically for those who haven't watched any of my previous videos, as of February 1st, I don't have a home, and I've been hopping from like friends' places and Airbnbs and just hopping around until I find my place to live. And so the first like week or so, like the first week and a half, I was like, I'm like a high vibe. Like I was like, I'm living wild and free. And I felt good energetically, even though there was like some days of like frustration, some wobbly energy, but overall I felt good. And then I got sick, and then that kind of, I don't want to say it took me like a step backwards, but it really kind of brought me into my shadow self, and then like surrendering and really sitting in with that energy. And so kind of being in that shadow self, but at the same time being in fight or flight. Because when I kind of got sick, that is when things started shifting in terms of really fast. Like before, I was like, I had a weekend, and then I had a week to stay, and then I had like another, like the few days, and then it was like, okay, 2-3 days here, 2-3 days there. One place I had to leave like pretty much instantly, and so there was just like a lot of like my survival mode went on. And yeah, so between like being in the shadow, going into survival mode, not knowing what my next step is, being being basically like my fears like literally like taking over, and trying to tap into my higher self, but like my inner child like not wanting to let go of the control, like wanting to continue staying in control of the situation because she felt unsafe. And so I feel like now that I basically came to where I'm at now at my current friend's place, and being able to like, she told me I can stay here for the week, it almost calmed my inner child down a little bit, and it was enough for my inner child to like let go of control a little bit and give the reins to my higher self. And so I feel like my higher self is like kind of like coming in now and recognizing a lot and reflecting a lot of what's happened in the past like few weeks, like basically since February 1st, and between reflecting my home situation, and then also reflecting a lot on my business and what I am doing here on IG with the 365-day live. And I've been really authentic, like, and really honest with what's been happening throughout this entire time. I'm not someone to like shy away of like, hey, I'm going through shit, and this is like the shadow. And what I was going through was a lot of like the shadow part, especially the past like 2 weeks. And so that being said, a lot of the reflection that's come is like how much like I've noticed that my mind goes into excuses, and how it's like, like, oh, well, I couldn't, I couldn't tap into my higher self because I'm in this situation, and using my situation as an excuse. And it's not so much that it's not an excuse, or it is an excuse, but it's more of like, how can I turn this situation around? How can I shift my mindset and my thoughts around this entire thing. And the universe has supported me through this entire time by constantly offering me some place to sleep, which I'm like really grateful for. And I think that's like made me cry more than enough times this month around that. Every time I had like some place to sleep and something came through, I'll just start crying out of gratitude, because I'm like, oh my God, like grateful for the community, grateful for my friends, but like grateful for the universe as well. Like, so just grateful for all the things. And so it's like kind of, trying to not use this situation that I'm going through as an excuse as to why I'm not showing up, but more honoring the fact that I am a human being and that I am going to go through shadow periods, and those shadow periods are going to show up in my business, because that is authentically who I am. And I'm not going to hide that. I'm not going to say that like, oh, things are great and high vibe and big vibe and like, like high vibe and everything is fine and I'm living my best life. Like, no, that shadow period of what I went through was hard, and it was just fight or flight. And it was that I couldn't think creatively, that I couldn't come up with any ideas, that I couldn't come up with a post to write on Instagram, that the only thing I was able to do is coach, and put my fight or flight response aside and being able to coach. But in terms of everything else in my business, I couldn't do it. And there is nothing wrong with that, whether that is, there's nothing wrong with that. And it's okay that is what happened. And I can't change the past. I can't go and be like, I should have done this, I should have done that, because then that's just like self-sabotaging myself. So what I can say is honor that I went through that, and that this is where I am now, and what do I decide to do moving forward? Like, what are my next steps? And how do I decide to shift myself, like my body, my mindset moving forward? Now that I'm slowly coming down from this fight or flight mode, and now that I'm like slowly coming back into my body and out of that survival mode. And so I'm sharing this because I want to show you that it's okay. It's okay to go through things in life, and it's okay to react how you react in moments, that we are just human, and that fighting with ourselves of like what we should be doing is more detrimental to ourselves than just honoring what we are going through and honoring what has happened. And so just a few like thoughts to think about, because I find that sometimes like I, especially seeing it on Instagram of, I've noticed like, when you're in this situation, when you are in like the lack, or when you are in the negative, like, okay, well, what are you going to do to shift? What are you going to do to shift? And sometimes you don't need to necessarily do anything to shift. Sometimes you need to sit with it and honor what you are going through, and honor what you are feeling, and honor the thoughts, and just recognize them and let them be there instead of fighting. Because fighting it is just going to create a clash, and your survival mode or your inner child is not going to let go. It's going to want to continue to control, while your higher self is like, no, but you should be doing this, but you should be doing that. Instead, my higher self was very much like, to my inner child, like when she's like, no, I want to control the situation. I want to be in survival mode. I want to freak out. I want to freak out, cry, break down, do all the things. And my higher self is like, okay, do it. Like, just be. And I let myself be. And I even remember asking on Saturday for the universe, like at Saturday, I thought that, no, wait, it was Friday. Friday, I thought that I legit Like, I was only going to stay where I'm staying now for just the night. And Friday was definitely like a huge breakdown moment of like, I only have this for the night. Like, universe, please send me a miracle. Like, please send me something. Some sort of miracle so that I can come out of this fight or flight, because I'm so exhausted. So exhausted. So mentally, emotionally, physically exhausted. And that next day, my friend's like, you can stay with us for the week. And that was just like the miracle that I asked for, and I got it, and I received it. And it's just showcasing you again. Ask the universe for help, and you will receive. It does happen. Like, this is like me living proof of this entire month. You know, you can watch all my other videos on my IG 365 day live. Every time something happened, I asked to be supported. I asked to be held. I asked for something to be worked out so that I can have warmth, a shelter, and a bed to sleep in, and I've received. And so, yeah, a lot of gratitude for the universe for that. And yeah, that's basically my thoughts for today. Very much in this shifting mode of what am I going to do next. I am seeing a place later on today in about like 40 minutes. And so I'm going to go check it out and see what it's all about, going in with an open mind and zero expectations, and seeing what it is all about. It is in Tofino, so that is good news. And it's a lead. It's something. It's been so quiet in terms of leads in Tofino for the past basically 3 weeks. Ever since February 1st, it's been like, even before that, there wasn't many leads. And so grateful for a lead, grateful that there's like something that's being shown to me, and it's like, okay, there is availability, Julie. Like, there are places to live. Even though my mind, that's the other thing. It's like, sometimes it's like your mind knows that you're like, okay, there's places to live, there's abundance of housing, like the mindset work, but sometimes it's very hard to feel it in your body when there's no evidence being shown to you. So the fact that a lead came up, I'm like, okay, my mind is like, okay, there is availability. So I'm gonna go check this lead out, see what it's all about, and then use my human design authority, use my intuition to make a decision about, whether it's a yes or a no. And so that's gonna be today. And so gonna see what happens. Who knows? So that is it for day 26. Just sharing with you my thoughts, my process, my journey. If you like this video, please like, share, or comment. And yeah, that's all I got for you. So thank you for watching, and sending you lots and lots of love. Bye.